Devin. What was it like before you had Netlink as a partner, and how did we reach, your business goals? If you can tell me.
So as you know, OutSystems is a very specific application development platform, and it has tremendous power and presents tremendous opportunities to organizations, while at the same time, requiring a very specific skill set to make it successful. And as Bswift grew in our use of OutSystems, we also grew in our need for highly trained talent to be able to be deployed to build our product pipeline in a way that honestly started to outstrip some of our existing sources of talent. And that's when we began to explore potential partnerships with organizations that could bring to bear talent that had the skills that we needed on day one, that didn't need that technical ramp, but also were positioned to understand our business, our market, and the unique things about Bswift that make us competitive in our industry. And the best way to describe our experience with Netlink to date is promises kept. I've hired and I've worked with software development partners for over 20 years, including some of the largest in the industry. And Netlink, not only holds their own with those large software development partners, but importantly for us, they delivered on their commitments from the very first sprint through to production deployment of our first product that we built together. For us, that's absolutely critical, and it allows us to focus our time and our effort on delivering the types of services that our clients expect from us, and less time on the mechanics of software development.
Great, thank you. So that takes me to, how would you rate the experience from 1 to 5?
4.5, because I never give a 5. and in all seriousness, the Netlink team made some pretty big promises and some pretty big claims going into our initial discussions that started last year. And having done this enough, I'm naturally skeptical about those promises and commitments. But the promises and the commitments that Netlink has made to date have been delivered on without exception. Seriously, from the first sprint, and we're not, I'll back up a little bit. Bswift is not a traditional software development shop. We have, like everybody, lots of little idiosyncrasies, lots of little special ways we like to do things, our own definition of Agile Scrum, like everyone does. And from that first sprint, Netlink was able to step into that environment and be not only productive, but successfully integrate themselves into the Bswift way. And that for us, that's pretty impressive.
Thank you so much, Devin. So my last question, it's gonna be, if someone called you today and be like, why should we do business with Netlink? What would you say?
Good question. So everybody can understand the reality that in corporate America, the bar to bringing in a new software development partner is very high. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, and it's a lot of reputation on the line for everybody involved. And when I talk with colleagues and they ask me about Netlink and they ask me why we were willing to go to bat, if you will, to bring in a net new partner, the answer is simple. Netlink delivers on what they promise, and they deliver in a way that truly differentiates themselves from their competition. Competition both large, so think of the giant outsourcers, and competition small, think of the niche OutSystems focused boutique firms. They really have differentiated themselves. For us, Netlink has a really great mix of being consultative, So they're not just going to do what we tell them because we tell them to do it. They're going to provide their opinion on the efficacy of how we want to approach a particular problem. They're predictable. You know, I've mentioned that from the very first sprint, goals have been set and they've been met. Super important. And to be honest, you know, they're cost competitive. You know, Netlink is competitive with they're competitive with their competition, and they're competitive with other sources of software development talent.
Thank you so much. These are great words, and I really, really appreciate your time. And you are a fantastic client. We love working with you. And all these words is just amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you doing this with us.